Here's some more advice on how to make your realtor website more attractive to seniors. Hi, I'm Paul Kavanagh, and in this particular video in the series, I'm going to talk about delivering free information. So, one of the questions I posed in a previous video in this series is how do you reach seniors before they're even looking for a realtor? Because if you wait until they're actually looking for a realtor, chances are they may go with someone that they know or was recommended to them who may not have the same expertise or experiences serving seniors as you do. So, one way of getting their attention earlier on, maybe even before they're committed to the idea of downsizing, is to offer them free, valuable information on downsizing or on aging well. So, you can make your website a place to go to for things like articles on various aspects of downsizing. You might have a live seminar or seminar series that you're offering on some topics, and you could have registration on your website. You could offer free downloads in the form of ebooks or checklists. You could have quizzes. You could have short videos, or you could have property listings featuring bungalows or condos or other types of properties downsizing seniors are looking for. Or alternatively, you could be offering advice on what to look for when shopping for these types of properties. So you can see this is the sort of information that would be attractive to seniors. So the key here is to drive traffic to your website, positioning your website as a resource hub. So the way you do that is you promote individual pieces of content through various channels. So for instance, that might be through social media. You don't rely on people to discover them online. So chances are you're not going to necessarily show up in a Google search because you will actually be offering the same sort of information as companies, say, like senior living communities and other companies that have much bigger marketing budgets. So the key is to get out there, have a following, and promote these pieces to your following, whether that's on social media or it could be even in real life. Say you're doing a presentation, you could offer at the end of that presentation a link to a free piece of information that you have about downsizing. And the thing is that people may be more inclined to come to your website to get a piece of free, helpful advice than simply to find out about you necessarily, particularly if they're not at that point yet where they're looking for a realtor. So you have to have some content, and there are different ways of sourcing that content. One way is to create it yourself. And I know some realtors who do this. Now, that's a time commitment, right? Particularly if you're not only developing something that might attract seniors in the first place, but once they're on your email list, that you're providing ongoing free advice on downsizing in order to keep them engaged. And, depending upon your level of expertise with writing, you may be satisfied with these results or not. But it's certainly a less expensive option than, say, hiring a content creator. If you hire a content creator, say someone like a freelance writer, to develop something for you, they're doing this exclusively for you. So this is going to cost you some money. And the other thing is that even though you're handing that responsibility over to a writer, you may still have to provide them with some guidance, because if they don't already know your audience or they don't understand about downsizing, then you're going to have to provide a lot of knowledge and input to them and feedback as they're preparing this stuff for you. Or you could use AI. So you could go to a program like ChatGPT and ask it to write an article or series of articles on downsizing topics for you. So this speeds up the writing process. The thing that you need to be aware of is that whatever you get back from AI, say in this example that I'm giving you, a series of articles, you really need to go and look at them and edit them. In other words, don't use them as is. Because generally speaking, some of the articles that you might get back would be kind of vague and generic. Uh, and you want to be able to show off some of your downsizing knowledge, differentiating yourself from other realtors, right? So if you have something more specific that you can share while you're editing this article, this is an opportunity for you to put that in the article. The fourth option is to purchase white label content. So this is professionally written material, and it's different from going to a content creator because this is content that can be purchased by more than one person. So there may be other realtors who specialize in serving seniors who may end up purchasing the same content. But where you make it yours is there's a part of that content where you can insert your own branding, your own name, contact information, that sort of thing. And because it's not written exclusively for you, it tends to be much more affordable. Now, if you want to go ahead and develop your website as a resource hub, a lot is going to depend upon your existing setup. In other words, your starting point. So it may be that you have a page on your brokerage website or a website template that may have come with your CRM. Generally speaking, those types of web pages, websites are a little more difficult to play around with. In other words, there are limitations in terms of what you can do with the layout and the design and the sort of information you can put up on them, as opposed to, say, you have a custom design site or a website that you set up yourself. There's a little more flexibility there. So you may ask, well, what if I'm in one of those first two categories where I don't have the same sort of flexibility, or I'm just really not all that interested in putting a lot of time, money, or effort into doing a major website update? Well, there are alternatives. There's a workaround that doesn't necessarily involve the expense of a website redesign. One that I've actually done with some realtors I've worked with is to create a landing page, not on your website, but on another program. So for instance, I've used the email marketing app MailChimp to create this particular website for a booklet that I've developed for realtors. And you can see it's a place to go on the internet where people can quickly push a button and download the booklet in digital form. Or, you could go with print materials. So you could have all your materials available in print or a combination of digital and print materials. And this could be a lot more simple to implement because you're going to be either meeting people one-on-one at events. You may have other businesses who could be referral partners who might be interested in this material and may end up helping you distribute it. So you can actually lean a little more heavily on print materials if you don't want to go through all the technical aspects of providing these sorts of resources digitally on your website. So to sum up here, the focus is on educating, not just on selling your services. But you may wonder, okay, so where do I go from here? And this is where I can be helpful. So, I can help you sort out, well, where do you get your content? Do you want to write it yourself? If you do, I can, help you develop your writing skills in that area. If you're looking at using AI, I can show you how to use that most effectively. Or if you're interested in white label products, I have some white label products on downsizing that you might be interested in. The other thing is I can help you in terms of thinking about how you want to get these out in front of seniors, whether that's through online means or through making personal connections. So if you're interested in learning more, I'm offering a free coaching call. And all you need to do is to contact me via email. You can simply scan that QR code that you see on the screen instead of having to type in my email address. So that's all for this particular session. Hope to talk to you soon. Bye for now.